So I want to move on to Hillary Clinton. And again, I think Hillary Clinton is just a gigantic microcosm of a much larger problem here. But Hillary Clinton is a symbol for what has become a poisonous political system in this country. So we can't take our eye off the ball, which is Donald Trump. That's why I started this video with Donald Trump. That's why I spent a half hour on Donald Trump. But Hillary Clinton is a symbol for everything that's wrong in this country. Hillary Clinton, I think, maybe you could give her credit that when she was first lady, she pushed through the Children's Health Program, which gave health insurance to 8 million children. It's a progressive thing, and we should give her credit for that. Nothing wrong with giving her credit if she did something right. But as far as my research, that's the last thing she did that was progressive. While she was a senator, she voted for the bankruptcy bill, which was a huge blowjob to banks. She reversed course. When she was first lady, she convinced Bill Clinton not to sign the bankruptcy bill. She reversed course because Wall Street gave her a lot of money. While she was senator, she voted for the Repatriation Act, which allowed corporations who stash money overseas to bring back their capital at I think a 5% tax rate. And there was going to be an explosion in jobs. Shocker, there were no jobs, just kickbacks to shareholders. We all know about the Iraq War. I don't need to get into that. It's been litigated and relitigated. I mean, she voted to extend the Bush tax cuts. As first lady, you could say she wasn't president, but you know what? Hillary Clinton was not gardening as first lady. She was an active member of Bill Clinton's administration. She cheered him on for welfare reform, which literally took millions of single mothers off the welfare rolls. It was a Republican loved plan. It only frankly created more welfare in the long run. Hillary Clinton cheered as Bill Clinton put African Americans in jail at record numbers. She called them super predators for things like smoking crack, nonviolent offenses. Many of them are still in jail. Voted for the Patriot Act after 9/11. I mean, I don't have 2 hours to get into her whole record. But I mean, the record is the record. This was not personal against Hillary Clinton. I don't know Hillary Clinton. I don't care to know Hillary Clinton. Her record was not a progressive record. That's just a fact. Hillary Clinton thought that she could play the game throughout her career, which was say one thing, say I'm going to go after special interests, and then a couple hours later, go have cocktails and fundraisers with the same special interests. And by the way, in fairness, she is not the first politician who has done this, and she will not be the last. So we cannot just say it's all Hillary Clinton and she is Lucifer. She's the symbol for this type of politics. Hillary Clinton talked about cut it out, Wall Street, and then gave private speeches where she talked about, I have a public position and a private position, where she said, I want to defend fracking, where she said the best people to regulate industry are the people in the industry themselves. Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, pushed fracking around the world. The fatal flaw here was that Hillary Clinton, maybe once she did, I don't know. I'm only 30. I wasn't around in her childhood. Hillary Clinton doesn't have a core belief. She doesn't have a core. By the way, neither does Donald Trump. But I've already got into why Donald Trump won. It wasn't because of Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton doesn't have a core, and that's what WikiLeaks showed. She literally changed her policies on the fly based on polls, based on the wind. One WikiLeaks that really stood out to me was the carbon tax. It was the primary, first Bernie, and they were debating about whether she should be for a carbon tax or against. And her aides said, "What's the polling?" You think Bernie Sanders' aides were saying, "What's the polling?" about a carbon tax or really anything? No. Hillary Clinton, a long time ago, probably because of her husband, decided politics is a game of self-preservation. Politics is a game of sausage making. She talked about that in private speeches. Politics is about, behind the scenes, the nitty gritty, the dirty sausage making, how things get done. And people are sick and tired of it because that kind of privacy, that kind of what I view as conning the American people, people woke up that that's what has been going on, and that's why their wages have been cut in half. Hillary Clinton is also an embodiment of the revolving door, right? So the banks, the corporations, the lobbyists, now we know the media from the WikiLeaks. She's an embodiment of that revolving door because they're all in bed together. It's not a coincidence, folks, that income inequality, you look at this chart, right? This chart where income started funneling upwards towards the top 1%. It started in 1981 when Ronald Reagan became president. And the corporate Democrats did nothing to fight it because they were complicit in it. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were a part of that. How can you fight against these interests if you're in bed with these interests? This is what Bernie Sanders ran his campaign on. You cannot fight interests that you are in bed with. It's like me saying I'm a progressive journalist and then going to have lunch at the Chamber of Commerce. People are smarter than that. People are smarter than that. So is she an evil person? I don't know. I think it's pretty evil to vote for a war that you probably know is wrong for political gain. I think she did that. I think it's evil, in Haiti when there's about to be a minimum wage increase and you push for it, you push not to get that minimum wage increase for people who literally make like $1 a day because you're trying to aid your corporate friends who don't want that minimum wage to be increased. I think that's pretty downright evil. I do. I mean, I could go down the list of things that she has done. And this isn't to excuse Donald Trump because he's pretty fucking evil too. But what I'm getting at is Hillary Clinton is Jimmy said it well, she's just a symptom of the much bigger problem. And, the Democratic Party and the Democratic establishment have a decision to make. They really do. You look for a boogeyman. You look for who to blame for her defeat. You blame Bernie Sanders. You blame Bernie Sanders voters. You blame turnout. You blame James Comey and the FBI for screwing her momentum. I got that from some Hillary Clinton supporters last night. You could go on, blame the weather, blame whatever you want. Or you look in the mirror and realize, wow, we did things the way we always do things, and we got fucking crushed by a fascist. Maybe it's time we stop having fundraisers with banks, and we start having fundraisers and meetings with millennials and middle-aged to older Americans who are tired of this shit. Maybe it's time that we run on moral principle because, wow, Bernie did that and look what he got. Maybe it's time we try to represent people and not plutocrats. Whether they will do this or not, the jury is out. But that is what I would recommend. I don't see how any objective, and I don't expect them to make this decision now. I mean, the wound is way too fresh. But I don't see how you could objectively look at the results here and not see that it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't the FBI. It wasn't the emails. It was the fact that she had no message. And she was the embodiment of political establishment and neoliberalism. And neoliberalism, frankly, is dead. I don't know how, I don't see, with the demographics of this country, with an awoken younger generation, thanks to Bernie Sanders, thanks to Jill Stein, thanks to the Young Turks, I don't see, with millions of more Latinos voting every 4 years, millions of more young African Americans voting every 4 years, millions of more young LGBT voting every 4 years, thousands, if not millions, of more young Muslims voting I don't see if you have a progressive candidate run how we could lose.